Severance Season 3 just got approved and announced. Let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to try to avoid as many spoilers as I can, but if you haven't watched Severance and you haven't finished Severance Season 2, probably a good idea to avoid this section. I'm going to try my best not to spoil things, but even the smallest little things can spoil things, so I just give you that warning right up front. So, but if you have finished Season 2 of Severance that dropped last night, obviously there's actually been a lot of spoilers. It's obviously a crazy season. It was awesome. I'm not going to get into detail because of the spoilers, but I don't know if it's the more exciting news, probably the more exciting news is Apple TV just announced that they've officially renewed Severance for Season 3. There's a tweet that Ben Stiller threw out, and it was like, hey, Tim Cook, fans have been asking whether Season 3 is going to happen, and Tim Cook responded like, Season 3 is available upon request. Apple TV even dropped a trailer for the renewal, literally just for the renewal. They showed all these like clips of threes in the trailer, and like Season 3 has been renewed. Like what's kind of interesting about this is, I feel like, okay, so here's the deal. Apple TV Plus has apparently been losing about $1 billion a year for the last little while. They have not been doing well. So if you think about it, Apple TV Plus has some quality stuff, but it's not a lot, right? And in fact, I only resubscribed because of Severance. I kind of watched Silo as well, but really it was for Severance. And to be honest, like sometime in the next couple of days, I'm going to stop my subscription again because I'm not going to be watching until Season 3 comes out. And if you think about all the marketing stuff that they put into Severance when it was coming back, Season 2, right? They had all crazy amount of ads. They had that big stunt that they did in Grand Central Station. They put so many eggs in this basket. And this kind of makes sense because Severance seems to be their only major hit. So they're really, I think, riding the success of that as much as they can, and they put out this trailer and everything like that. They're just really trying to get as much as they can into it. Severance is an incredible show. It's been awesome. I really hope it continues to be awesome. But Apple TV Plus losing this amount of money is not a good sign. And also, again, the amount of marketing that they're putting into it almost is like consistent with that lack of success, to be honest, with other shows. It's like they didn't do that for Silo, they didn't do that for Loot or whatever. I guess Ted Lasso, sorry. Ted Lasso is a very good show. I was talking about that last episode. But it's not I don't know, it's just the $1 billion thing apparently. I'm sorry, it doesn't surprise me. And it's apparently due to also like a lot of questionable movies that they bought. Argyle, Tim Cook apparently questioned the purchase of Argyle, and there was no fan base around Argyle. So yeah, but anyways, exciting that Severance Season 3 has been announced. The other really interesting thing about this news is Ben Stiller also assured fans that they would not have to wait 3 years, because between Season 1 Season 2, there was a 3-year hiatus. And there was a lot of things that happened there. I think partly because of COVID. I think partly because of the writer's strike. There was a bunch of things that delayed it. Apparently, Adam Scott was sitting on these secrets for like years, and he had to tell his family members because he just had to get it out. But apparently, Season 3 fans will not have to wait another 3 years. I'm hoping maybe 1 or 2 years. Maybe not even 2. It'd be nice if within a year we get Season 3. Lots of really obviously interesting thing. I'm not going to talk about the plots. The news here is Severance Season 3 officially announced. If you haven't watched the show, definitely go and watch this show. It's definitely worth your time. One of the best shows I've seen in a long time. All right, let's go to the next story. Okay, interesting news about Conan O'Brien. Speaking of being renewed, Conan O'Brien actually has been renewed for next year's Oscars. So if you don't know, Conan O'Brien hosted the Oscars this year. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched the pieces, and the pieces that I watched were good. They're funny. Like Conan, I'm a massive Conan fan. Conan has always been great. Even if not every moment was laugh out loud funny, it was great. It felt good. He's I feel like a really great choice. I felt like it still had Conan-esque humor, which was great. I mean, he had his writing team there, which was awesome. So he apparently it went so well, and I think it got a lot of good reviews from the press, that he's been asked to come back. So Conan O'Brien is coming back for the 2026 Oscars. I think it's the 98th Annual Academy Awards. He will be back, so that's very cool. But also on that note, This Sunday, March 23rd, 2025, Conan O'Brien's going to be receiving his Mark Twain Award for Comedy. If you don't know what this is actually a really fun night to watch because it's basically a bunch of peers kind of, talking about the person who's receiving the award. So Kevin Hart's received the award, Dave Chappelle received the award, I think Jon Stewart received the award, Adam Sandler received the award. And so, it's like, I've watched a lot of these clips on YouTube where basically, again, this host of celebrities comes and obviously congratulates the person and tells great jokes and great stories, and then the person receives the award. So one, I'm excited because it's awesome that Conan's getting this period. I feel like Conan has lasted so long, and I feel like in the last 5-10 years he's been getting all these accolades and all this stuff like that, which is great. So I love that. I love to hear other comedians talk about it. It's just a great entertaining show to watch, period. I've never watched the show in its entirety, but even just watching the clips on YouTube has been great. But what's kind of been interesting about this specifically is the Mark Twain Prize is part of the Kennedy Center. And if you don't know, there's been a lot of controversy about the Kennedy Center because Trump has taken it over, right? Trump's taken it over, and as a result, a lot of artists have been either turning down the shows or pulling out. Like, for example, Hamilton, the musical. I don't know if this is specifically Lin-Manuel Miranda's decision, or him and his team or whatever, but they decided to pull out. They were supposed to perform a lot of shows at the Kennedy Center, and now they've pulled out. And so, there's a lot there in terms of like, would Conan go forward with this? It'd be so bittersweet for Conan, right? Because Conan's finally getting recognized for all his work, but now there's controversy of it being at the Kennedy Center. So I didn't know if Conan would step down, in support or in protest of Trump now being in charge of the Kennedy Center or on the board or whatever. I didn't know if that was going to happen, and I was personally going to be sad about that because I understand why he would do that, but I've been waiting for this night for a long time. So it turns out they're going forward with it. As far as I know, at this point, they're going forward with that show. I'm reading an article right now that says, will they attack Trump? So maybe they'll use this as an opportunity to attack or protest against Trump. I don't know what it is. Either way, I'm excited that Conan O'Brien's getting this award, the Mark Twain Prize for Comedy. I think a lot of comedians joke about, like, why is it tied to Mark Twain? I mean, I guess Mark Twain in a way was a comedian. So so Conan O'Brien renewed for Oscars next year and receiving his Mark Twain Prize March 23rd. What I would suggest is you guys keep an eye out on YouTube for clips of the show. That's probably the easiest way to watch it. I think it airs maybe on PBS or something like that. I'm sure there's a way to watch it better than YouTube clips, but I don't know what that is. All right, I don't know if this is up in Canada, and I had a so obviously, if you guys know what's going on with the political climate, all businesses in Canada are going crazy with their Canadian ness, like made in Canada, built in Canada, whatever, this kind of stuff, right? McDonald's, if you go to McDonald's, there's a lot of things that, like, we use Canadian beef and all this. There's like 5 or 6 bullet points of stuff that they use from Canada. And I had a theory that this might be part of that. But my wife also pointed out, well, it's maple syrup season. So they might have had this well in their strategy a long time ago. But long story short, McDonald's, at least in Canada, has right now a bunch of maple flavored stuff. So, like, for example, you can get their sausage and egg McMuffin with, like, a drizzle of smoky maple syrup. Did I say caramel this whole time? I meant maple syrup. I think you can get any number of their sandwiches with this maple syrup thing. And one of the things they also introduced was this maple cream pie. I was out at McDonald's with my family yesterday, and I was like, I'm gonna try this maple cream pie. Now, I gotta let you know. So I've always been a huge fan of McDonald's apple pie, and pies like it. Like, for example, there was a brief time where Subway gave away apple pies, and I used to love to get, like, a chicken teriyaki sub with an iced tea and a Subway apple pie, and even to the point where I liked it when it wasn't heated. It kind of tasted almost like an unheated Pop-Tart. Loved it. Apple pie and iced tea. It's such a good combination. And in the last couple of years, I discovered Popeye's apple pies. Like, those are so good. So I love this format of apple pie. This kind of, this mini handheld burrito-esque pie. I really like. And so, of course, maple. This has got to be great, right? It's got to be like a sugar pie, or it's got to be like a pecan pie or whatever. And I had it. And you know what? Ultimately, it's probably good. It's probably good that they made the choice to make it a little mild. It's a kind of a mild tasting pie. Like I was expecting like a butter tart kind of taste, but it's kind of a mild tasting maple syrup pie. And the thing is, maple syrup stuff sometimes is mild, right? It's not as sugary as you kind of envision in your mind, because you're probably envisioning like butterscotch or caramel. So I was a little bit like, not that great, but when I think about it, I think it's probably the right choice that they made. So I would say it's good enough to try. You're going to enjoy it. It's $1.69 in Canada. You can't lose. That's so cheap, right? But will I get it again? Maybe. I'm on the fence. Would I get it over an apple pie? I don't know. I bet you those two would taste really good together, though. Like apple and maple syrup together. I don't know. Anyways, McDonald's maple stuff. Try it out at your local McDonald's. Let me know if you tried it and if you liked it. All right, our last story of the day. Last one, laughing UK. So it turns out this show has existed in many forms in many countries already. But my wife actually let me know that this is coming to the UK. And the best thing about that is, I love UK panel shows. I talked about last episode that I don't love US panel shows because they kind of try to do the same thing as the UK ones. But I love the UK ones, and you get to know these people so well because they basically run the circuit of all these other shows. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, it's like QI, 8 out of 10 cats, 8 out of 10 cats, just Countdown, Taskmaster, Would I Lie to You, all these shows, Mock the Week. There are all these shows in the UK where it's really the same set of like 20 or 30 comedians that run the gamut of these shows. So when my wife sent me the trailer for Last One Laughing UK, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing because it's all these people that we love. Bob Mortimer, Joe Lycett, Lou Sanders, Daisy May Cooper, Jimmy Carr's hosting it, Rasheen is in it. There's a lot of Richard Ayoade. There's all these people that we know and love. Rob Beckett, all these great people. Judy Love, Harriet, I don't know her last name, Sarah Patrick, like just so many great comedians all in one space. And the whole premise of the show, if you don't know what Last One Laughing is, again, it's existed for years, is these comedians are trying to make each other laugh, right? And they're in a room for 6 hours trying to make each other laugh, and they're obviously, the people are trying to resist laughing. They can't laugh, they can't smile, these kinds of things. And when I started watching it yesterday, I was like, is this actually going to be not funny because people are trying not to laugh? But watching them trying not to laugh is actually a really funny thing to watch. It was surprisingly really I love the people, but I was surprised how good a watch it was. So Last One Laughing UK, if you're in Canada, this is airing on Prime Video, Amazon Prime Video. I don't know where it's airing in other places, on what. I think I don't know. I assume it's on Prime in every country. This is going to be a regular theme on the show, me asking you guys, is this available in the States? Is this available around the world? Whatever it is. But Last One Laughing, another new show, like along with Everybody's Live with Mulaney. Another great show, new addition to my watch list. So definitely check that out. Last One Laughing UK. We'll see you guys in the next one.